I look at work like, let's say we're athletes, right? When you're actually watching the game, that's not when these folks are doing work.
Nope.
Right?
That's practice.
They're not practicing when you're actually watching them doing the game. It could be basketball, soccer,
final
football,
results.
whatever, right? That's actually the time that they're actually working, you know? But throughout the week, they're investing in themselves, whether it's eating right, going to the gym,
Right.
learning the playbook, right? Because they'll get a thick playbook and we think these people are dumb. They ain't
Watching
got no
film.
sense. Yeah.
Nah, you gotta be smart.
They're watching video, they're learning plays, they're learning their different opponents, their assignments, their whatever.
It's a great analogy.
And then when they now show up at work, they're executing.
Exactly.
You cannot underestimate the power of mentorship, especially when it comes to investing in yourself. Because for me to be able to go to this lady, I had to have some sort of skills. I have to have done some type of pre-investment. What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Grind.
BTG.
Hey, if this is your first time watching us, welcome. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of our future content. Our podcast is about business and lifestyle. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. My name is Kay.
What's up? I'm Alan.
And I'm Tosin. And today we're going to be talking about investing in yourself.
Oh, I like that.
All right. So one thing I love to do is that whenever anybody gives me like book recommendations, you know, and I'm also a big used guy. You guys have probably known from previous episodes, but I'll buy the used book, get the audio book. But this time, one of my colleagues, CPA colleagues, she recommended us to read Raven Fans.
Oh.
And she's like, you gotta get one for your whole team. I
heard about that.
Lord, yeah.
Have you read it?
You want me to? I actually read it, you know?
Okay.
So I went ahead and bought a bunch of used books and then just started handing them out because I'm a big believer that we've got to invest in ourselves. All right. So we're going to talk about a few ways you can invest in yourself.
Well,
today.
I mean, I think, and I like the fact that you bought books for each one of your folks, because I am a firm believer that the best investment you can ever make, it's not in stocks, it's not in real estate, it's not in crypto,
Really?
it's in yourself.
Yep.
You know why?
Why? Tell me.
Because when you think about it, the one thing that's guaranteed that will stay with you is whatever knowledge or investment that you've made in yourself. Real estate can be shaky.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Crypto can go up and down.
Yep.
Right? Stocks can go up and down. But you are constant because you can always take advantage of every opportunity that comes your way. You know, you're the one thing that's constant, that's reliable. You know, the investment that you make in yourself is what allow you to invest in stocks. It's what allow you to invest in real estate.
Yeah.
It's what allow you
I'll
to invest
agree.
in crypto.
I'll agree with that, but how do you, or maybe before I ask my question, you know, Alan, tell us a few ways you've invested yourself. I mean, we know you're a doctor and 12 years, 15 years of your life
That's
invested, you know,
That's it.
outside of that, what else?
No, I'm kidding. Well, you know, I'm a big firm believer in reading and investing in your staff. As you know, we had a book club that that's why I asked him if he read it, because he missed quite a few meetings.
Man, I'm still missing until today, Lord.
You weren't the only one, but you know, like I feel like you're on the right track with reading. I actually on the way over here, I was thinking, myself, since the book club kind of dissolved because everybody had a lot going on. And I had a routine that I used to get to, which was morning, read books, you know, do some meditation and work out. But since I had a little shoulder injury, I didn't work out, threw my whole thing off, like the book part and stuff. So I hadn't been reading as much as I would before. I was going through books, as you know, like a lot. And one thing I've noticed, which was stated to me by my friend, the more knowledge you acquire, the more you succeed. When you stop acquiring knowledge, as far as like learning from book, like having actual structured content that you're consuming. I'm not talking about just watching Instagram videos or YouTube videos, but structured.
I thought I could learn a whole lot from Instagram.
You can. But there's something to be said about devoting yourself to reading a whole book, consuming the knowledge, understanding it, and trying to apply it. For me, when I'm doing that, I notice the success and revenue in my life in the kind of like peace and the way I handle things improving, because like you did with your team, you learned something. Doesn't mean anything if you learn the knowledge and you're applying it. Nobody else sees that. So when you give them the knowledge of the book, or then they can understand your vision, and then you don't have to do as much explaining. And so you're on the same wavelength. So it goes with the same. When I feel like when I read books like that, I tend to apply it even into my personal life with friends, in how I perceive other things and how I approach different things from work to everything. It really like helps my life be structured and have like a focus. Like, okay, I read this book this last 2 weeks. I'm focusing on this for the next 2 weeks. And it's good to revisit it every now and then.
And you're right about that, because one thing I always tell people is that investing in yourself has to be non-negotiable.
Right.
Right? Because think of it from this angle. Right now we are in the AI space. Era, right? Everything is about AI, and the people that are going to be able to take advantage of this new era are the people that educate themselves at least invest in themselves to make sure that they are up to date on using AI, right? The one thing that we know is that job doesn't last forever. So when you are able to invest in yourself, it's the only way for you to be able to show your value in the marketplace.
Correct.
No matter where you go, people will find value in you simply because of the time and the effort that you've put in when nobody's watching.
Well, you know a lot, right?
Exactly.
I guess it's like, if you're not investing in yourself, then you're just stuck being that version of yourself from 10 years ago. And the world moves past you. 100%. And you're in one spot.
I told one of our interns today, who's kind of transitioning into our summer internship program. And I told her that I look at work like, let's say we're athletes, right? When you're actually watching the game, that's not when these folks are doing work. Right.
That's practice.
They're not practicing when you're actually watching them doing the game. It could be basketball, soccer, football, whatever. Right. That's actually the time that they're actually working, but throughout the week, they're investing in themselves, whether it's eating right, going to the gym, learning the playbook, right? Because they'll get a thick playbook, and we think these people are dumb. They ain't got no sense. You gotta be smart. They're watching video. They're learning plays. They're learning their different opponents, their assignments, their whatever.
It's a great analogy.
And then when they now show up at work, they're executing.
Exactly.
So just like you guys said, that knowledge that you're building is to show people that you're prepared, that you're ready, that you can accomplish whatever is there in front of you.
Correct.
Not that you show up at work and then you're like, there's this new thing called AI and I want you to show me.
Right.
At work. You should be there pushing them forward.
Right.
With the knowledge that you're building.
Yes.
I think even aside from work, most of the successful things that have taken, me in business and team further up have actually been nothing to do with work, because if whatever you're growing in can be used in the personal life, then it becomes them. So then it's not like I'm doing this for work. It just becomes who you are. You are dependable. You are looking for the who's and not the how for everything. It becomes part of you rather than, hey, we need to do this for work. No, it's like core values that you learn from a lot of these books that you read or whatever you do that will help you in your work, but it's a part of you, right? You're expanding who you are and your skill set. You're growing as a person rather than being this, pigeonholed person that I'm not saying that everyone is, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know we've talked about books, right?
That's what I was about to say.
Besides books,
give us some other ways.
We got, it's funny, I actually got a great story here. So besides books, we have Coach slash mentors.
Yes.
Right. That, we can get in our life that can kind of, invest in us in terms of making sure that
Right.
we improve our skill set, or at least our ability to be able to function
Right.
in whatever we're doing. Right. Then you got the traditional educational route where
Right.
you can go to college, and get a certification or a degree, and then you have the relationship aspect as well too.
Say that your what is it? Your network is your net worth.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah.
And it's funny because I remember when my last venture, Zazu, I remember when we started the business, it was 4 founders, and we assigned roles based on whatever we were good at, So we had 4. So the CEO, he was really good in sales, and we know that the CEO is all about selling. He's like, all right,
right.
You know what? You're going to be the CEO. And then my technical founder, he sees things from a technical perspective, right? So it was like, okay, you're going to be the CTO. And then it was like, oh, well, Kay, you're good with people. You're good at relationships. So we're going to make you the COO. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's do it. And just to show you how naive I was, we were just a bunch of guys who saw a problem,
Right.
and we found a solution to the problem, and we just wanted to execute. But we wasn't thinking about, the business aspect of
Right.
actually running the business. And I remember at the time I had compliance, customer service, and HR reporting to me. And so we get started. And I'm having all these issues happening, and I have to make decisions. And I don't even have no clue in terms of how to even make decisions.
Right. Yep.
I just knew that I was good with people, but I didn't know that I needed
Some kind of structure.
some kind of
rubric.
structure.
Yeah.
And then my boy came to me. He said, look, you need to invest in yourself. You need to go find a mentor or a coach
Yeah.
that is already where you're at, right? And that person can kind of help you to where you're trying to go.
Right.
So I went on my LinkedIn, I researched a couple of people who are kind of like where I wanted to be. And I found a lady, and I reached out to her, and I say, hey, my name is Kay, and I'm running a financial technology company, and I'm looking for a mentor, and I would appreciate, if you can kind of mentor me, da 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 da. And one thing about me is when I'm looking to build a relationship, I like to propose it with a mutual beneficial
Right.
relationship,
Okay. Okay.
And I was like, hey, I can also, these are my skill set. This is what I can do,
Let me know what I can do.
let me know
for
what
you.
I can do for you.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, no problem. So I ended up finding myself that every time I would speak to, because we would have monthly,
Check-ins,
meetings.
kinda.
And every time we would speak, she was like, well, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? What structures do you have? How are you making this decision? How are you making that decision?
Love it.
And I'm taking notes, right?
Dang.
And once I take notes, I'm doing more research. I'm listening to podcasts.
Yep.
Right.
That's why y'all need to listen to our podcast. It's an investment. I'm listening
That's what
to
he was really getting at.
I'm listening to podcasts, and I'm doing all these things. And everything started to translate into the business.
Right.
We had 56 employees. And if you ask every single employee that ever worked for me, they would say, man, this guy is the best boss I ever had. Not simply because of my ability to connect with them, but because of my ability to get them to see things in a way they don't see, number one. But number two, to get the best out of them so
That's
that the
right.
company can execute and
right.
do what it needs to do. And so I say all that to say that you cannot underestimate the power of mentorship, especially when it comes to investing in yourself. Because for me to be able to go to this lady, I had to have some sort of skills. I have to have done some type of pre-investment, right? And then me approaching her, and she was like, hey, I need A, B, and C. Say no more.
But I think one thing you said is that, for a lot of people out there, they're like real hungry, right? They don't know where to start. I think the thing is that that goes overlooked is how quick and easy it was for you to find it. But because you had the forethought, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone planted in there, and then you had the kind of motivation.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people don't think, they're like, well, if I hit them up, they probably
won't
won't
reply,
respond. Da, da, da. I'm like, You
I've
can
already
get
sent
anyone to
5.
respond today. You
Yeah.
have ChatGPT. Go in there, ask it how to help you respond, and it will do. Send those messages. Send it. Make a list of at least 25 to 100 people. Send it off. One person will respond.
You know what?
All you need is one.
You know what Michael Jordan once said? You miss 100% of the
Yep.
shots
Shots you don't take.
you don't take.
You got to take the shots.
You got to take the shot.
You
But
just
on that same line, though, I mean, let's say if you are busy, like you want to make sure the shots that you take are worth it. So how do you know? Like, how do you calculate a return on your investment? Let's call it.
Oh, yeah.
On investing in yourself.
what is your end goal? What are you trying to achieve from that said investment?
Well,
well, if I'm,
And that's how you would.
well, if I'm trying to build knowledge, right?
Right.
There's nothing finite about, hey, I learned
There
something.
isn't.
You know,
here's how I look at it, right? If I want to calculate the ROI on my investment,
Yeah.
I have to be able to look at it from two angles. Number one, tangible, and number two, intangible. So tangible, when I say tangible, what I'm referring to is, let's say that I'm currently making 90,000 and I'm a project manager. And I know that if I go get my project management professional certification, I can demand 150,000, right? So I put in the time and the effort to study, to go take the test, to
Right.
get a certification.
You can
directly
Now I can
calculate
go apply for a job. That's tangible right there, because now I can say that that investment, that $700 investment to get the certification, has now yielded an extra $60,000
In income.
In income,
Including
Now,
coursework.
the intangible, right, could be maybe I go to a networking event, right, and I build some relationships with certain folks, and that relationship has now gotten me into certain rooms that I would not have gotten access to if not because I have those relationships
Or skills.
right, or skills, and now because I'm in these rooms. You know, I think I remember a previous episode. You said deals will come.
Yeah.
You just have to be ready for it, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm in rooms where I can be ready to accept deals when it comes in, right? So when I look at, you know, how to calculate, I always look at it from tangible and intangible, because the intangible, you might not always be able to point to it,
That's
but you're
right.
going to feel it because, you know, things are different, if that makes sense.
No, it does. It does. I mean, adding on to what you said there, I feel like at some point you kind of get out of that finite calculation
That's what I was.
and everything becomes, you know, like just continue doing it, or look at yourself like a farmer. You're just planting seeds out there, right? You never know, but guess what? Those seeds need to be watered. They need sunlight. They need the proper soil nutrients. So it's not just about investing in yourself to get,
Right.
but how are you also
Cultivate, nurturing it.
nurturing it, using the knowledge that you've got.
I think that's key. I think a big thing is that, you know, time. To me, the money will come. The thing most people don't want to sacrifice, and for me, is time.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of things. I was just thinking today, taking a lot of courses, doing a lot of things outside of dentistry, and I was thinking today, man, if only I had more time. Like, to me, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I always feel like, man, I don't have enough knowledge. There's so much I don't know that I'm always hungry to know. And every time I learn something, I'm like, share it. Because I want everyone to have the same,
Alan is
like,
always sharing.
yeah, I want
Move
everybody.
on to the next. I gotta learn something.
I gotta learn it. I gotta learn it and incorporate it into my wheelhouse. But to me, even if I'm not getting the direct results from that one thing, I know it's there. Let me back it up. For instance, I have a friend who's, you know, in dental school was always like, you know, telling me things that like, people don't know this, people don't know this. I'm like, yeah, you learned that over time. They taught us some of these skills, and you have also an MBA, same as me. You learned that. You just didn't directly attribute the benefits from that. It became part of who you are, and you're doing things like this because you were taught, and you've been doing it so long that you think you just somehow
You were
was
smart,
born
but
with
no.
this. I'm like, no, you've been absorbing this knowledge
Yes.
forever. And that's why you have these skills that you think that are like this and these are common. I'm like, no, we learned that when we took communication class. Remember we role played and did communication with each other. So you're not insanely as good as communicating as you think you are. You didn't come in here like this. You've had so much practice at it in school, and then you got out and got to use it more. So now you think like, oh, I'm just good at it. No, these are reps.
Yeah.
And so that's how I feel with all the knowledge that I'm trying to learn. Yes, it may be great, but for me, if I really am into something and to me, I'd rather take the opportunity to learn something that I want to learn than have missed an opportunity not to learn something that could have helped me later on.
Yeah.
So it might not be, like you said, directly right now, but hey, I got the project management certification. Now I've been taught and know how to communicate with people and how to manage things. So when I go in these, networking events, I'm not like, I project manage. No, I come from it. I've seen those projects.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And you can have this discourse that can lead to something else that you wouldn't have had the knowledge base to even, attempt or have that opportunity to begin with.
And it's funny that you mentioned that, because speaking of, ROI, especially the intangible ones, one thing I realized is with the amount of investment that I have, done over the past few years, I realized that my confidence has gotten a lot better. My decision-making skills has gotten a lot better, right? My mindset has changed. And these things don't happen overnight, right? They're compounding over time because I constantly seek knowledge. I constantly try and position myself to learn more, to do things that the average person wouldn't do, right? So, regardless of how you want to look at it, I think that, at the end of the day, you always have to ask yourself, like, what is the goal? What do you want? What do you want to do, right? And once you know what the goal is, right, you can kind of position yourself to do whatever you need to do so that you can gain the results that you want. And it's not going to be overnight, but you're going to see it eventually.
I think that's the key.
But also, we have to let people know out there that not all investment in yourself is the same.
Correct.
I had an opportunity to join one of these networking groups that you have to pay a membership
Those
fee.
ones.
Yeah, So
they work for some, they work for others. Yeah.
You know what? That's where I'm going.
It depends on I would say it depends on your industry too.
Yeah, but what happened?
It's just like what Alan is saying here, right? Not all of them are created equal, right? You'll go to some networking groups where someone will say, oh, I joined this group. Yes, I'm paying, let's just call it, $50 a month. And I got business of $300 a month. Like you said, a finite calculation.
Right, like 6X.
Yeah. So it's like, oh man, in 1 month I was able to get 6X.
That's a good investment.
Let me do it again and again and
It
again.
was an easy 6X.
Easy one, right? But then some people will go to that same group, but nothing is happening.
Because it's
Nothing.
also the people in the group.
That's it.
And also another thing is that those groups, I don't discourage anyone from trying it. I think everyone should try it, but they're different even from city to city to suburb to
even
suburb.
group to group.
Group to group, because you have different personalities
Virtual
in there, right?
versus in person.
Right.
Versus.
Because if you have a lot of introverts that are in there, in the people who you want to connect with, you never really learn anything. You never connect. But then the people you don't want to connect with, or not necessarily don't want to connect with, but may not be as directly beneficial to your group, maybe all the extroverts, and they're trying to help you out, but you're like, they can't even help me out because so it's like, not saying that, at any point anyone can be helpful, right? So it's not what I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying, that the reason why you went in there was to target this and you're not getting that.
But still be open to options in there. Because what I ended up doing inside that same group, I didn't last too long, right? But in the few months where I was there, what I was doing was honing in on my 30-second elevator pitch, right? So every time the meeting will happen, you get an opportunity to present yourself, talk about yourself.
This is the introvert, by the way.
You only got 30 seconds. All right. So now you've got to figure out what is interesting about me. What can I deliver to these people to go,
How many times you rehearse it in the mirror?
man, you got to rehearse, bro. You got to rehearse.
So safe to say that
And this is different.
Chat GPT. How do I?
Yeah, and this is different from trying to do it in front of people that know you,
Yeah.
trying
Yes.
to do it inside a maybe what are those courses where you do public speaking type of stuff?
I know what you mean. Yeah, Toastmasters.
It's
Yeah.
completely different because
These are
this is now,
strangers.
these are strangers that could
Talking about like
potentially
BNIs,
buy
right? Yeah.
your service,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
there's that added pressure of I've got to look a certain way.
Wait, is
you
it
know?
easier to speak to strangers versus people that you know?
It's easier to speak to people that you know.
I feel like it's easier for me to speak to strangers because I'm like, I ain't gonna see you again, so I don't even care.
Well, people that you know is like,
He's
man,
saying,
you
well,
suck
people
at
that he knows,
speaking,
and like,
you know?
he's saying that
it could be like,
yeah,
you know?
with regards to like, this is my opportunity to pitch a business. So
Yeah.
if I fumbled it, they won't know that this isn't all that defines me. There's more to me, and I'm better than this. So he has one shot.
That's right.
So
you can also kind of, that's where I'm going when it comes to investing in yourself. Don't just look at it, hey, I'm a part of this group just because I want to get more business.
Yeah.
But once you're there and you maybe, let's say you're stuck for whatever period, find other opportunities
Right.
to be able to invest in yourself. Because in most type of platforms, there's going to be, it's not just one thing, right? Even if you're reading a book, maybe you're getting knowledge, but maybe it's also to share that knowledge
Yes.
with somebody
right,
else.
exactly.
So in whatever you're investing in yourself in, always look for the things that can branch out
Yeah.
from that investment.
Yeah, you 100%. I think that when you think about the aspect of investment, especially because I think you said it doesn't necessarily have to be for you. One thing I've learned to do is to think about what my purpose is. We all have our unique purpose in life, right? And a lot of times, whatever your purpose is will dictate how you approach life in
Correct.
general. You know, you are a doctor, right? Or a dentist, dentist, right? But your heart might be in serving, right?
Yeah.
So maybe reading books or maybe doing things that could connect with people,
Right.
could allow you to connect with people in a way that helps them.
Right.
Might be a way, you get what I'm saying? Because
No, I know what you mean.
everything
It
doesn't
is.
have to be for your own benefit.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
I also think
It could be
that,
for
like,
impact
there's-
as well.
There's also a thing that I watch where I think we get so hung up. Everybody talking about, living in your purpose and doing your purpose. We think our purpose means this is what we're doing. Not even that. Just like this is the narrow road I must walk on this path. Whereas your purpose is what you are, what your core self is.
Yeah.
It could be done in other avenues. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
doctor,
Yeah.
dentist,
Yeah.
this. You can do your purpose and fulfill what you were pretty much what your core values and who you are in so many different things. Your purpose isn't just one thing. And I think that's what a lot of people tend to want to find. What is my purpose? I'm like, well, you can have that purpose in a million different things,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Well,
It just has to
so
fulfill you.
and I'm going somewhere with this
And other
because
people.
before we round up, right, I got a question for both of y'all. So speaking of investment, what type of investment are you guys currently making in yourself right now that does not necessarily benefit you directly?
I mean, I know one, but it's a mutual beneficial thing. Honestly, right now, I've been kind of like trying to catch up to technology and AI, even though some
Bro,
would say
you know that benefits you directly.
no, some would say that I was already ahead. No, it's not anytime soon. The investment required is steep. And honestly, some of it will just increase efficiency and benefit my patients more than me.
I see what
So
you mean.
like not being able to get a hold of someone after hours, training an AI voice and all that stuff to be able to contact us 24/7 to send everyone on call a message so they can reply to them quickly. That's not really monetary benefiting us at all. It's just more so like I kind of saw, when I worked at emergency places where, dang, they can't get a hold of no one after hours. No one can do this, At least some of the stuff is simple, like, like my temporary crown fell off. It could be as simple as we gave you this packet. Just open it and do this, and some automation so that, they get videos and, and I just, it could be, it's a lot of things you can do with technology these days where I feel like that's something that I've been investing in learning the processes of like all the virtual and AI stuff that's going on, as it pertains to marketing, as it pertains to other things. Cause other people ask me about it. I was like, can't be that hard. But yeah, it's just a lot. That's why I said there's so much stuff that I'm like, I don't know so much.
What about
I need to learn it.
And then
I'm over here sweating. I'm trying to think of something.
And if you don't, that's fine. But it's just a challenge to you that, okay, maybe you might need to start thinking about that.
So you're selfish is what you're saying.
Man,
let's come back to him. Let's give him a second.
Well, I do have one. Unless you want to.
No, go ahead.
I was having a conversation with one of my staff today, and he's like, "I just appreciate you for showing up every day."
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
Hey, it's tough sometimes. They know.
And it's got me thinking, like all day, like. How's that special?
That's good. You got appreciation from your staff member.
Yeah, but then I started thinking about it. I mean, come rain or shine or whatever, rain or shine or whatever they say, I'm there.
Right.
And
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't go into it too much, but really, it's. I think sometimes it's just being there for some people. Yeah. It takes a little bit more out of you every single day to make sure that, like I say, entrepreneurs, you're wearing multiple hats.
Right.
And you don't know by wearing those multiple hats, who else that you're benefiting.
Yeah.
That's true.
Who else is seeing some of those habits and ethics that you have, right? That another one was we mistakenly overbilled a client. I'm like, give them their refund. Yeah. Like, really? We could just keep it. They didn't know. They just paid it. I'm
no, man, that's not ethical, man.
All these little things that entrepreneurs are doing. It might not seem like a big investment, but what you're doing is you're teaching the people
around
you.
ethics.
Yeah, you're teaching, I don't know, and you might not even know that you're teaching, right? But it does come from those things that we've learned and we've read about and we've invested in ourselves, whether it's about integrity, whether it's about structure, whether it's about just showing up, whether it's about, having the right words to say, and how to build a team. Because they don't teach us most of that in school.
That's right.
They don't teach us in school.
That's the fun part.
Really?
Figure it out yourself.
Kay, you go ahead.
I mean, you kind of set it all for me. I'm all about serving others, right?
Yeah.
And whether that's just checking up on people, making sure they're good, or just spreading whatever knowledge I've been able to gain over the years, right? And for people out there, if you've been listening, if you can just drop in the comment section what you're doing to invest in yourself, right? And what kind of ROI does that return for you, whether tangible or intangible? But I think the one thing we can all agree on is that investing in yourself is something that is non-negotiable.
That's right.
And it's what makes you valuable in the
Bring your value
marketplace.
for sure.
Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. My name is Kay. You can find me on Instagram at OneHorizon. Where can they find you?
I'm Alan. You can find me on Instagram at iam.adds.
And yours is easy,
and
right?
Toasting on
Toasting on my tire. And then until next time, fellas, peace out.
All right.